is going to be very important because unlike the Cypher, unlike the Killjoy, you do not have a utility that is going to tell you someone is in the back besides that wall. And that can be triggered so easily from the side of Fnatic. But both of the teams
also short for Poopa.
And
also short for Poop.
Especially Fnatic with how
Wait,
slow they were yesterday and
yeah, I was supposed to be
like they want to test it.
Don't twist my words
here. I really like this though from Fnatic, getting proactive over towards Mount, taking space in exchange of goods.
I did not cook.
Yeah, Rubble's not ours, so we're going to lean over
that
this
was supposed to be like funny and cute, but it wasn't, and I'm
sorry.
sorry.
Nice beginning, but RRQ's pace is tempered.
I mean no harm.
Time. They're not in a particular hurry.
I want to see how this change in the composition. Playing Crazy Guy finds the first 2 kill onto Alvier and Chronicle, but Boaster gets the response.
Yeah, the third just felt a little too far away. Xfero just catching crashies.
Oh, mama.
And this is huge, though. Kayak and Boaster aren't going to be pleased about this, but Kayak's done brilliantly thus far, but gets outgunned.
Wait, Fnatic could get eliminated, huh? Early days,
though.
be
dreaming about. Now he asks
a little
big
bit of
question.
a whiff, yeah.
The main man himself. Can he lead by example? A 1v3, a lot to ask for. Sheriff to hand. And a glance left and right. The first couple of steps, almost the deadliest. This cross is in place on the contact. Jemkin more than able to do it. And a good, comfortable start for RRQ.
Yeah, Fnatic that definitely wanted to fight. We saw a lot of Sheriffs going onto that pistol round. And that definitely was a pain point for Fnatic yesterday. Yes, they managed to win like 3 out of the 6 that they played. But in 2
that
of
second
those,
kill on Chronicle
lost
sucks.
the next round. So it's not looking good. Definitely some of the homework that they need to do if they get back to EMEA. Maybe they can start a little bit earlier today. But for RRQ, being patient, finding the kills, finding the space, and a very quick response if they're pushing and putting all of these numbers in C. Of course, A is going to be very weak.
So, can they continue this? I'd like to see what RRQ looks like with some more confidence. It was a brutal start for them. But Fnatic, once again, being proactive here. And why not in this round? A lot of classics and an isolated player. A good reward, at least a Sheriff to be found. But you can see the
1 for 1, not bad.
Here, straight towards C-site. RRQ, not really too fast now. A good idea of where Fnatic are.
Yeah, exactly. And leaving Xfero in the back just with the Sheriff. No weapon is going to be found for the side of Fnatic. 4 classics to play for this retake. Kayak has already taken the long round. It's going through CT. Still, all the utility from the Vice is already in play, and RRQ should have a very easy time closing this round.
And should is always the primary word, but I agree with you. They do have these 3 rifles that they really can't afford to lose those. They need to keep these, and they need to stay clean in this round. Fnatic would love to make it a bit more costly, trying to lock them into the site at the very least, but time to slip forward. Crazy Guy still farming up. Monyet as well, gonna find Boaster. And so far, so good. It's that one loss of a gun that could cost them here. Crazy Guy does go down. I don't think that can be particularly gathered. Kayak going to go for a wild play. And now they just need to back
keep holding,
away.
keep holding.
So 2 rifles making it out there, the Guardian and the Vandal on Jemkin.
Yeah, comfortable so far for RRQ. Again, being fast on those reactions, getting into good positions for the post plans. Monia being ready with that paranoia. Even though he was playing one of the rifles,
kind of boring, not gonna lie. It's been 1 round, you fucking...
the utility that all the team can use onto that. We also saw the Vice flash. So very comfortable for them. By the way, the next map is Haven. I would love to see Monia on a duelist. I think it's about them time.
I'm with you in that, but I want to see them get there well. I want to see this team show that potential. There was a lot of talk about RRQ leading up to this.
This is a classic. Boaster with the Odin.
I'm having a little look towards Kayak.
I think I've seen this film before.
It's the corner that's going to be
it's a hard shot.
He sticks around too long, but he plays it well enough. Gets to slip away. You can see again patience being shown by RRQ here, kind of going through the paces of this map. The looks reinforced here.
Yeah. One of the things that I was
G2
about
XLG?
RRQ is
J-Nam, wake up, bro.
Later takes onto A, struggling a little bit to fight at the beginning of the round. And Boaster is ready, trying to deal some damage. He has already taken a bit.
Again, from their previous matchup, in my mind, I was looking a lot towards Jemkin, at least, with the entries and how he was faring in that. And it was a bit rough for him. He wasn't able to find his footing. This could be a much better game for him.
What do you think about the teams not giving the Vandal to the? Well, he's low on HP right now, so we're just gonna give it the Sheriff.
Yeah, that's completely reasonable. But again, they do need to handle Boaster here to an extent. They can't allow him too much freedom throughout this game, but
a lot of
forced to respect it.
You see the paranoia, the TP, all that noise. Fnatic set to respect that. But the movement from RRQ already ready to enter C.
But that was very telling. Kayak noting the player crossing back through. It steadies the ship. Ready's Chronicle to receive, and Jemkin goes down. He was the player lower down, though, on HP. This is still a bonus round, but it's invested, so there is cost to this. And speaking of things that are running out, is time. 15 seconds, and Crash. X-Furrow, you nutter! Clears Crashies like
Oh my god, what a clear.
Suddenly we're down to a 4v4 post plant, and RRQ are back in the driving seat.
Yeah, Boaster with that Odin
I
is
like
not going to
Nutter.
have an easy time. Crazy guy that found the perfect timing to go on through Hobbit and support the rest of the team.
I like what Kushi's doing, though, playing that a little bit disconnected. It does open up risk, but they've got the support, at least for now. Kushi gets cleared quickly by Alpha, who needs an upswing in performance, but Monient's response is get proactive. Fight back towards CT. Kayak comes into the building,
Kayak.
though. And now down to just Crazy Guy, a 1v3. Not able to stand the test. A necessary round for Fnatic.
Yeah, and it's so important for them that even in that 4v4 with the time
They went
maybe
crazy
running
on the
against them as
retake.
the spike was
They
going
came in
down
like
and all the
fucking
utility
SWAT
and
team.
no information onto where RRQ were playing after having a very strong rounds for those post plants is having that patience. You still have a lot to work with. It doesn't matter that crazy kill.
That looks
from
insane.
Crashies. But Kayak, yesterday, he was
Kayak.
marvelous, wonderful on his debut, especially on Haven. At least good for two on most of the rounds. Good job, Chronicle is saying. Another player that should be
You are in the
comfortable
game,
for
bro.
today.
Welcome to the server.
Yeah, this is the round, though. I'm looking at Crazy
Oh,
Guy
no, it's
as well.
Crashies. They're just going to be swapping around the Odin.
If I wasn't a
The
gamer, what would
Crazy
I have
Guy
been?
early, so if they
I
have
don't know, probably a
set piece
doctor or
in
some
mind
shit,
they'd like
bro.
to run, they at least have that as an option. Alpha, Kev, that was a little bit too
Doctor,
risky for
dentist,
me.
you know.
Alpha, out on a limb. Could have been punished, wasn't, and there's the instantaneous ult. It's quick. They're not really pulling their punches, and we're complementing the pacing, but now Alpha's going to punish Moniette
Michael.
on the cross-up. Spike's still hesitant to commit through here, but now will be making its way.
Yeah, we saw at the beginning of this game, RRQ taking those ores, farming this ultimate, but Fnatic knows how to play
Rocket,
around it.
rocket.
The spike is going to go down, but they're very ready. Kushi finds the first
Oh
one.
no. He beat it out the rocket.
The next layer, the next step, Chronicle catches Jemkin, and we're
Flank.
down to two. The flank feels almost out of place,
Good
but it might be the
seize.
heroics they
Good
need.
seize.
But they're dwindling in numbers. Only one alive.
Oh
and
no, where is
Chronicle's
he?
awareness is just too
Big.
good. Fnatic keeping four standing. A big reply here to the early start from RRQ.
Yeah, the spike is going down, but these post plants are just not as effective. When you see a Fnatic on the other side that seems to have recovered that confidence that in so many occasions yesterday was missing. All that utility to come in, preventing RRQ from having an easy time on
Am I
the side.
drunk?
And
No, I'm
Fnatic's
just
also
sick.
taking on the
I'm
opportunity
sick.
to break the tempo, to not let them take those positions. We know how difficult it can get for any team to retake on C.
This is where it truly begins. See that depth of RRQ, the frustrations, I'm sure.
What the fuck?
And the dances.
Of course.
Wait, Bosa's
like
got
they
his
are.
shorts on today, showing off his
Well,
legs.
headset, though, please.
We might be in for a
really
treat, guys.
sharp. Don't need to pause this early, mate. Let's keep it calm. But okay, Stinger's coming out. Judges there, so a couple of bits and pieces to
Wait,
look
what?
out for. How are they gonna?
Oh,
I mean,
and you
this-
know they've been playing the Odin. Are you sure you want to do this?
Oh, Kayak, potential to farm here.
Uh-oh. Pros don't clear corners.
Just has to wait. Chronicle sells them down.
Wow, that was so satisfying, bro.
Without a paddle.
Nah,
And
that was
it's
so
just
satisfying.
perfect. Happy to make those
Dude, he's
plays
like
and
fucking
confidence
robot.
builders for the main
His
man on the
aim.
stage.
Absolute flawless round for the side of Fnatic. Yes, it wasn't the biggest investment for RRQ, and there was definitely an idea to
He's-
show a little bit of face on A.
The way
maybe
he's
drag
killing
some
them, it's
attention
like
from
he's
Fnatic,
fucking-
but
we're
Chronicle
charging
and
him per
Kayak
bullet he
were
shoots.
ready for this
Bro, once
aggression
you buy the gun, the
on
bullets are
2B.
free, man.
Timeout now being requested. It is time to slow things
He's
down.
like-
They're saying-
Good job, boy.
Oh, yeah. They were speaking about the vibes. Crashy said that they were immaculate, that they were better than ever, despite the loss from yesterday. It's definitely telling.
Did he
Yeah,
say
it
good
is.
boy or
And
good
again,
job boy?
This is kind of the, I guess, polar opposites in play here as well. When we talk about the big leagues coming out to these stages, you got one of the big teams against you. Fnatic has a very wealthy history of that, even coming off the back of a loss.
Is Kayak
You're
a
looking at
rookie?
what people were referencing is like that Shanghai
well, he's been on
nightmare
Fnatic
before
for a little
facing
bit now.
Gen.G, dropping into the
It's his
lowers, and
first
then obviously we
international.
all know what happens
I
up
wanna
against
say-
Foot, right? The ridiculous happened. But
Was he at
Fnatic,
the
again,
last
when we're
one?
talking about the composure capability there, the fact
his
that they've
first
been in these
international, yeah.
scenarios, they
Many
can
times.
fight through it. Now,
Yeah.
for RRQ, this is the first time they're taken to these sort of stages. The pressure is tenfold. It's not easy. So a nice early pause here.
Especially when you're still, like, there's the question of, Did you really deserve that first seed? We were just in a crazy run. Especially
First
with how
year in
Gen
franchise
G is
equal
looking,
rookie. Yeah,
you can
that's
be like,
fair.
oh my god. And Paper Rex as well.
But would you
Just
say that
such
about
strong teams?
G2?
Listen, Lauren.
Yeah?
G2 played amazingly. Did you not see the first match?
I'm a
Leaf
G2
was
fan.
close in everything. That
I'm a
man
G2
was on
fan,
it.
but-
Yeah, and you are right. You're a Potter fan and you're a G2 fan, and you're right for that, Lauren.
Is G2 an EU org or an NA org? Does anyone know?
This Odin in play has been something that we know is such a
Crazy Guy's
it's
ready to respond.
really frustrating. They do need to find the reaction to it, which I said maybe Crazy Guy doing this. So they found a way
EU
forward,
org.
right? They've made it at least towards Rubble. That's something. It's a step in the right direction.
Again, this is vintage from Fnatic, just playing from tree with this Odin. We've seen it a million times. It was definitely not Crashes carrying it.
Nah,
Aww.
the
Expecting a
bromance
bit of damage at least, you know?
exchange here between the two. Picks up the mantle.
Booster takes it so Crashes can start throwing some utility.
Ooh, the timing on this though, actually not good. Booster left completely adrift there. Flash in hand and air punish. Crazy Guy unleashing. Now they've got to know there's still a player towards that A side. They've got to know there's one towards door. They've got a good read on these positions early.
Yeah, we were speaking about it being vintage. That is probably one of the responses and one of the adjustments that RRQ made for this
What
round.
just happened?
Let's fight for Bubble. Let's grab their attention and let's force
Focus.
some duels.
I'm losing my focus.
Now leading them into this 4v3. Xfero also with his ultimate. If they get to that post-plant position, it could be looking very good for RRQ.
Now I like this pause. It's good. Gives you a chance to get a bit of a punish, but you are going to have to start moving. Maybe depending on the lurk. Maybe
Big.
banking, you're going to get passed out, but it comes out well, but a good trade. Then Crashies plays it forward. 20 seconds now. It's getting down to the wire. The lurk's going to be an issue. But Crashies holding on so well. And Cushy
Wow.
killed Fnatic. In all that chaos, looking composed.
Damn.
And this is another layer.
It's looking
for
good from both
Ecom
teams,
for
really.
Getting those traits. You are already forcing that very.
That was a
one-side
3v4,
fight.
right?
We need the confidence to go one after the other. Crashies dodging that ice from the Fade perfectly, just pushing at the right time, especially when the other player is playing the Odin. It's going to take a little while to get that gun out. A lot of
Wait,
players
Crashies got
standing up on
up.
stage today.
And I'm
Crashies got
genuinely very
up.
happy to see Crashies having a good performance here. His return to form has been
Absolutely.
meteoric near on. It's been outstanding. So for him, happy to see that. Obviously, a lot of stars aligning. And for RRQ, gonna need to see a fight back now. This is starting to feel like a bit of a drought of rounds. Fnatic starting to look more and more comfortable, more and more confident. You don't want to see that if you're RRQ. You need to break back in.
We see Kayak playing with the Outlaw for this round. Of course, the economy not being the best for RRQ.
He's got
This
his
is one of the
rocket.
rounds that you can definitely take advantage. One bullet to any of the players on the other side, and they are gone, Lauren.
Yeah, and again, though, if you're looking at this, RRQ will have a lot of ults. I want to see them utilize them well. I don't want it just thrown out with a small chance of a win. I need to see them kind of build around that. A big opportunity maybe in the coming round with a good purchase behind it. It'd be fantastic to see. However, patience now being displayed.
Think so, Sabrina.
Slow and steady.
Focusing on getting the orbs, as you're saying, thinking about the next round.
We'll
Almost
see.
everything is going to be available for RRQ. Man, that Odin's broken. It barely does any damage.
But this is keeping a lot of Fnatic players hit.
Oh my
3
God.
players on the site now.
He
Again,
actually
we
hit
can
both
see
a couple
where
times.
the others reside. Alpha sat towards CT, but it's Kron again.
Monyet
just
dead.
punishing.
Stem.
Monyet's gone down. They're not getting given many chances.
left.
Look how far they have to dig to even get a fair fight on any of these Fnatic players. Don't give up the site, but there's a lot of players spotted. It's so clean.
Spike down, C.
Crazy Guy. Xfero.
Player standing.
There's just nothing landing for him here. Now
Ew.
it is done for.
Flawless.
Fnatic up to 5, a flawless round to get there as well. I need RRQ to hit the ground running in this round coming.
Absolutely. Only 2 rounds on the board, and as you can see on your screens right now, it was the pistol and the next one. Nothing found in this rifle round. Fnatic also very knowing what parts of the map each person is in charge of. The movement that Chronicle is having today, the confidence that we're seeing, and the right moment into when to take some fights, when to back off and wait for the rest of the team. We saw like at least a couple of flawless rounds, and yesterday we saw a Fnatic that was barely putting a round together.
Okay, this time though, look at the fight, look at the adjustment. Most are playing over towards
So many ultimates.
Yeah, backed away from this.
On both sides.
Yeah, I did notice that Fnatic got theirs as well, so a lot of counters here. This could get messy. Let's take note of what we've seen, though. Zero pressure across the map. Not a default by any means by RRQ, right? So you've got an exploration already happening for Kayak with that operator. Deeper line. The battle for tree begins. The battle of spam is going to continue. Door gets open. Boaster needs to respect this, though. The Prowler behind it. Fnatic need to be careful because they are at the door, maybe not believing the amount of bodies here. It's an explosion, literally. Jemkin takes away Boaster. Crashes tries to play it forward. He's still denying that there's any cross here. He gets called out to Alpha. They're coming back. It's a 1-for-1 trade, but RRQ are dropping these bodies.
Whoa.
Whoa! He's so quick! Flies through and finds him in the heels.
Double satchel?
And now they're locked in with them. A quick TP taken, gets him out of dodge for Monyet. He's on the other side of the map. There's the layering of these ults coming in.
All of them actually come in. That Viper's Pit guaranteeing the plant and maybe an easier position. This from Monyet is not going to find anything. Fnatic getting all together. And Kaya going in with the Odin. Everything is out for the side of RRQ. Nice ultimate coming onto play. Only those secondary weapons for Fnatic.
This surely is it for RRQ. This is a great reaction. It's a heavy investment. They've even got a nice disconnected position from Monyet. He sees nothing towards this playback in from CT. It's going to all come through the choke point. It's time to go. Crashy's still going to get down Cushy.
Pretty hard retake. Saving.
Time, though, starting to fade away here. I think they know it as well. It's taken a great deal for RRQ, but they've managed to find a response here, Bayer. It took basically everything they had.
Yeah, exactly. They still have Crazy Cat's ultimate for next round if they want to use it, but it has not been easy at all. A lot coming into this round. They knew that they had to be for today. So important as well, the way that they played that post fight with xFaroe. Yes, they were in his ultimate, but he had to be outside of that fight for that post fight to be successful.
That was 4
That's probably why I'm not talking that much.
That was everything near on. Yes, there's still Crazy
I'm
guys.
trying to lock in though.
Position. Yeah, it's stunning. Kayak gonna get away with the first. Jemkin punished, and he's had a quiet first half here.
I am so sad that we do not get to see the Icebox from Fnatic and see Kayak on top of any wall with the operator. Maybe we'll get there. Opener for them, and Jemkin is out.
Yeah, what's the plan now? They've lost the tip of the spear. So they kind of fall back.
I need this to get a kill eventually. Either way, I don't care.
Fair enough. As it stands, just a frustration, really.
That's someone called to join the call. Is that less talking for me?
Lovely
no, it's probably more talking. I mean, I don't mind talking. I'm just watching the game. I'm chilling.
Over on this side.
I'm chilling.
And after the pause, we've seen RRQ just going for A hits most of the time, just fighting for rubble at the beginning of every round.
All of this just for Boaster, and he's still alive. They still haven't cleared him. He's still standing. Someone kill him. Finally goes
Crashy's
down.
Avenge.
Brother in arms swings back in. xFaroe falls, and now Crashy's once.
You won't go through. Ooh, that was fast, no?
To give away a little bit
I could just be fucking. I could be slow, but that was fast.
Catching Cushy trying to take some space.
2v4.
They don't look comfortable in this post plant now.
That was fast, but I'm faster.
His ultimate is not going to go down. And it's only
Crazy guy, what do you got?
To defend this postman. Already opening the door. They know where he is, and he's going to lose his weapon. Alpha doesn't care. Closes out the round. Chronicle diffusing. He's going to half it, probably just give it to another one of his teammates. Still, RRQ, after that pause, just going for A hits most of the time. Just fighting for rubble. They've been dodging Kayak and that operator. Oh, they thought they were.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried that they're running out of steam here.
It's too early for that, isn't it, Lauren?
It should be, but again, they're finding no easy solution to having anyone to clear out whoever's going to be sat with that Odin on tree, right? Yeah, it's
You're the guy. You're the man. You're
Literally,
the man.
It looks comfortable for Fnatic, and I'm glad they've used both timeouts here because. Again, it's been Boaster or potentially on occasion why it was Crashy sat there as well with it, but they haven't found a way to clear that out without using what? There was a Fatal on it, there was everything put to this.
I think the most important part is that they are clearing out. They do get to kill the person that is in tree. The problem is the second layer that they have not been able to find a solution to. It looks like A is not the kind of side that Fnatic is more down to play for the retake because they want to fight their opponents
live, by the way.
They walk onto the side.
Sorry,
so maybe it's time
to
change the plan. Hey guys,
we're trying to set up NBA practice
onto A. But even though this is just the first half and this is RRQ's second timeout, they need to get back into the game. They've only won one rifle round, and that has to change.
This is looking like
Why are you guys
Fnatic have a lot
retweeting? Stop
to,
retweeting JNAM, bro. You're giving
prove
too much
here,
attention.
really, after the loss to Gen G. I think a lot of us kind of walked away, though. I don't say expecting it, but
It's not
Gen G
pinned.
looked one of the most lethal teams during Swiss.
He unpinned it.
Like, I think that's a really fair assessment.
pussy.
Those guys look like they could do a deep run. Anyone who doubts that,
They said
needs to
it
watch
yesterday.
What a
Like, I
pussy.
think it was Munchkin that said, anyone that didn't pick
That's
us
cringe,
as
bro.
a team to fight, they're cowards. And he said that was cold.
That is actually so.
Chronicle 9-2.
Yep. Kayak
No
up there.
wonder he's
well,
smiling, telling everybody that they're great.
I mean, nothing's really hindered them. Wait and see RRQ's response. Again, this was the double timeout in the first half, so...
Double timeout
putting
first
everything
half?
into it,
Are you guys
pretty
watching
much.
the game?
Viper's Pit instantly put down towards the C site. That's just going to be Chronicle basically closing the door. You want this, you got to put a whole lot to it yourself. Now, Sparrow...
Oh, no.
Me and him, not much
found the
different.
kill.
It's just going to be Chronicle basically closing the door. You want this, you got to put a whole lot to it yourself. Now, Sparrow...
Oh, no.
Me and him, not
He
much
found the
different.
kill. He found the kill with the Odin.
Yeah, but...
Do we take that?
But I think that kind of sums up a lot of what we're seeing. This feels flat. It feels like it's flat-lining for RRQ, and it's devastating, right? We know that these guys are very good.
Nah,
We
low-key,
know
I
how
get that
good
kill. You're not
Gemcube was.
wrong.
We know how much people are
And that's why
hyping
I'm
this team
saying
up.
I
Even
have a place in the
yesterday,
server,
you look
bro.
at Cushy, he was doing great. You look at some of the players, even in the loss, you're like, okay, there's a lot here. But today, it feels like it's compounded.
I think that maybe one of the things that we've been missing is Xfero doing what he was doing just now, just being a little bit more on the alert, trying to find something.
Oh, and all they find
Why does Chronicle just randomly turn into Thanos?
putting on a clinic.
Is this the third flawless round for Fnatic just in this half? 12-2 currently for Chronicle. Really, these better performances in this.
I know,
impact that
JNAM,
Kayak
that's why I was
signed
last.
it with the operator, something
That's
that,
part
as I was
of the
mentioning,
reason I
was
stopped
not
playing, bro.
there yesterday.
Don't tell
I was
nobody.
saying the economy, of course, with all of these rounds for Fnatic is not looking good for RRQ. Desperation on their faces. How do you get back into this? 2 more rounds for their attack.
Or Breeze 2 Sova.
And Fnatic has a lot to play with.
They do. They really, really do. Still have the ults here.
Oh,
Elves
Chronicle
in the
with the
chat?
operator. I'm so down
Nah,
for
I'm
this.
gonna get mad.
Okay, that's maybe not what even I expected, but it kind of baits
Nah,
them in
this
as well.
this actually
You'll think
ruined my
that's gonna be
day.
Kayak, so again, he
This
can have
shit pissed
impact
me
with
off.
that ultimate else.
This shit pissed
And
me
they
off,
go
I can't
for
lie.
Alpha. And look at his
TSPMO
confidence. He
ICL in the chat.
overstays on this willing to
TSPMO
fight out. There's no
ICL.
getting out of there, it felt like, but still, a 1-for-1 trade, Cushy gone. And down to this 4v4.
Very similar plan
Get that
as
shit
what
tatted
we
on
saw
my
in
body.
the previous round. Just go in for that mount control, maybe fight for those orbs, trying to get something going, especially for that
Double
last round,
XO?
and whatever you could use for this one. Crashes is so ready with this Odin. Oh, this could be a lot of damage.
Certainly could be. Boast ready, everything there. Look at the state of them, trying to back away. Boast actually getting a bit hungry for this. And Kayak going hunting too. They've got no idea. Oh, Kayak!
This is the best player in the world.
Phenomenal performance already. And RRQ looking down in the doldrums here, Bayer. This is a hard performance to come back on into that second half. I wanted to see them maybe have a bit of life in these final rounds.
He reminds
but
me of myself in my
not getting
prime.
past that first hurdle.
Yeah,
Oh, the days.
Xfero still with 30 seconds left. He
Oh,
needs
the
to try
days.
and save this weapon. Of course, Fnatic, huge bank and nothing to lose. And apparently, should go hunting for
Haters
him.
will say the
And
Lulu.
it just keeps compounding the problem,
Real ones
right?
know.
This makes it feel like that you can't breathe. It's like a weight on your chest here, and RRQ are feeling the full force of Fnatic. 8-3. It's a strong showing, pulling no punches now.
Hey, RQ has one more chance in this attack to get around, but the pressure for Fnatic has been wonderful. I would have liked, though, for Boaster to be the one having the Odin and Crashes to be sending in the
Actually
utility. Maybe
looking
that
good.
Seas and the Odin could have been the death of at least 2 of the RRQ players. But Kayak, and now he goes on the rifle. He has his ultimate. Chronicle back on that operator. And it looks like RRQ want to go for this rubble control for the last round of their attack.
The Odin is still here, this time obviously in the hands of Crashies. Has to respect it for now. Could assess the fact that there's already been maybe a cross towards Rubble
No damage.
now. Wants to confirm that. He calls in the rotation.
The skin is kind of nice, no?
Leaning through towards the door. Boaster passing through CT. Now, this is a show of presence, and they go the other side. Now, they don't know about this, though. Maybe heard this rattle off a shot in the last round, but is that in the forefront of their minds? Chronicle waiting. Eyes locked on this.
Chronicle's opping? Nah, he's getting cocky.
And the patience just falling short. Calls for the one-way. Dodges the flash. Waits for the Prowler.
Oh my God.
Couldn't quite find the timing to thread the needle. But now they back away. He's read the next layer to RRQ's approach.
And all of Alpha Year's utility is already waiting on C for that second layer. He himself is also supporting. 40 seconds left, and RRQ still has to make a move.
Fnatic have done so well at clearing some of these question marks. That late haunt coming in, just making sure they know the lurk's still in play. Chronicle keeping that deeper line, but Kayak finds to stop. Hello. He's not down, but Chronicle's down on the other side. The spike! Oh, God, Chronicle! It's a massacre over here!
Yes.
Monyet trying to take steps forward. Delayed by the util.
Tragic scenes.
There is no easy
Tragic
There is
scenes.
no straightforward way
Fnatic are owning.
And for xFaroe, he's got 10 seconds. And it's certainly not a dream now. 2 kills, yes. But to find the other 3 was never going to happen here. 9-3 Bayer. This has been a statement half from Fnatic.
Yeah, absolutely. They can be more than happy. They're usually on the other end of a 9-3. But you know, we still have the second half to care for. So let's take a small break and we'll see you on the other side.
Oh my God, the first thing is she said smoke break. Bro.
Again, though, they did pick up that pistol in the first half. We could either call that a blessing or a curse if you look at the rest of it, but they did pick up the pistol. So maybe this could give them a bit of a stabilizing factor, something to take off the stress here, because you saw by the end of it how aggressive Fnatic were being. It felt like it was trying to prove a point, but early contact
ChatGPT will soon replace you,
B, a little towards C.
You think AI me streaming? Nah, AI is me streaming.
Some utilities falling down.
What if AI me streaming is better? What if AI Taric is better than real Taric? Fuck.
No, be it a mini-map moment. It was a fumble there from Cushy. And that's the gates open. He knew they were there. The flash confirmed it. The early peek confirmed it. And Kayak, he's going hunting. Again,
but the thing is, like, you would be wrong to fuck with AI Taric because, like, it's fake.
Proactive in every angle.
And I'm real.
Again, explore CT. A little deeper look towards Waterfall. Any flanks? No.
How do we know you aren't AI Taric?
They are making RRQ reinvest.
Trust me, I do not give AI.
Close space.
I actually give the furthest thing from AI.
Again, on red alert down here, but the site's being retaken, but there's no bullets being placed towards Fnatic. Jemkin does draw blood, but there's still 4 more to clear. They've got to get a move on. Got to get towards that spike. Alpha! Sharp as ever. xFaroe's gone down. 21 HP, but the time he's buying is precious. 10 made for Fnatic.
Trust me, I am not AI. Watch me do this mini crossword.
Then finding the kill.
Trust
3 people pushing on to see, finding
this is not AI.
the Rise, getting that first kill. We see Kaya going on the aggression. Alpha waiting in his back, just going with him as well. A bit slower, of course, because race is what it is. But loving this isolating fights. Alpha, you're just moving like a dream. It's not only the vibes. This team is
He's
feeling
rounding it up.
And I'm just worried that RRQ are crumbling under this. Genuinely, I'm worried because...
Happy Father's Day, Taric. Thank you, son.
They're looking almost scared in this scenario. Oh, and that's maybe why Kayak's not missing a shot. This shouldn't be much of a round, but the problem is it's going to put Fnatic on 11.
You say that, you should have seen Fnatic versus Genji.
Well, I like this, though. Paint Shell could be big. If the timing's right, maybe it's too late in the day. Surely Monyet. Hello. Oh, a second. Maybe the hero they need.
Clip this. Rex win this map 13-11. Clip this. RRQ win this map 13-11 off this eco.
Dreamy stuff. Wait. Sorry, where's Alpha? Someone is looking. I think xFaroe's keeping a glance on this. That's really smart. Okay, they've seen him. Alpha. Oh my God, stop. He still takes down Jemkin. That's a 3v2 though. The numbers are good here. Gifted by Monyet on his 3rd.
Spike here.
Knows where the spike is. Fnatic have to come to him. Crashies and Chronicle. Oh my God, come off it. He's taken down Monyet in command here. Crazy guy now filling the void, and they look a bit.
Bro, why don't you grab the gun?
And it's just shooting.
Why did he not grab the gun?
Crazy guy left with just that Marshall popping off shots. He's down to the ghost here. He could back away. He could give them the spike if he wants to. He could fall off from this. He doesn't need to take the fight right now. The drive-by attempted. Oh, it's huge!
The Marshall.
With the Red Bull clutch.
Wow.
Necessary in this moment.
Wow.
I do not want to say it's spoken into existence, but Fnatic were struggling with this yesterday.
Good thing
and
he didn't get the
even though
Phantom.
I like the look of them being a little bit faster in this executes, Monian and the rest of RRQ so ready in the C side to stop Fnatic from taking the site.
Okay, let's see.
Just that heartbeat back in. Revitalized by that. Monyet setting that up is everything they could have dreamed of. It opens up a chance. Just a little bit of confidence could give them everything. But Chronicle doesn't want to give them much more.
Eco
Now,
for
Crazy Guy
Fnatic.
was like, do you know what you guys are doing? I'll have a bit of that.
Have a taste of
Odin.
your own medicine.
That's
He
the one.
actually finds a couple of kills. 3-3 now.
Cleared. You can kind of see the shades almost of the protocol list here for Fnatic, even in this sort of round, identifying where that one was going to be, kind of going through the paces, getting the test over towards Rubble. Okay, what's that B site looking like? Cool, let's have a little look towards C.
Yeah.
Everything proactive in this. Does catch. I thought it might have been a bit late, but Cushy's got to be careful. They are ahead of this. Yeah, they are very ahead of this.
Oh,
Crashies
like
from down
Shroud, but not
below.
really, dude.
Gonna get the reward as well. Yeah, Vandal found. That could be a plant.
Yeah, Guardian and Vandal, both are going to get that spike down. Of course, RRQ respecting this position
And if
taking
Boaster
their
goes
time.
towards Mound Bayer, he's had some mad clutches from here.
I think a couple of 3v1s, well,
Yes.
1v3s
Yes.
from his side.
But can Crashies alleviate some of that dodging?
Full pack of
Out
utility.
paranoia. He's still here though, and they fight forward. It's Crashies. Oh my God! How have they stolen that? A Mastercard Thrifty. It was meant to be the turnaround for RRQ, and it is
Damn,
crushed.
Crashy's popping off, dog.
Back-to-back Thrifties now. We thought that for a second things were looking better for RRQ, but Crashes, he just has a different opinion. He has a different plan for today. He's been having it the entire tournament. Time to stand up.
Nice, come on, boy. You and me, baby. You and me, baby. Him and me. Him and me.
Just get a room.
I-Series
Just get a
poster
room.
back at it. Giving it large, but let's look at what the protocols look like here. We were kind of seeing Fnatic going on that fact-finding mission in
Oh,
that
that's
previous
in?
round. That actually
That's
worked
a
out in their
13-11?
favor. Ball's now changed up though.
Nah,
A
I'm
quick
sick.
rotation from RRQ, looking to try and keep pace here, where Fnatic are kind of hurting.
I have the spike.
Would have liked maybe Crashes trying to fight for that orb, having that ult really execute.
Ooh, what a shot from Monyet.
Spike down.
Those damn stingers, man.
Crashy's head ringing after that one. Monyet's been the one to keep a couple of these rounds competitive, but a 3-play stack. Kayak, you're good, you ain't that good. Ooh,
Oh.
that has cost him a lot. All does get cleared.
Surely. Not back-to-back-to-back, right?
When you look at this map, again, I love that there's still control on this side, right? You've got Monyet.
Don't let your
playing in off
girlfriend stop
maybe
you from finding your
paranoia.
husband.
Looking to potentially set up. I think it's Crazy Guy over there. Yeah, it is. So Kron, he shouldn't have been able to get this far. That's my issue.
Chad, if you
He
post a
shouldn't
funny
have
enough
been able
message,
to get
it could get
this
pinned by the
far.
mods.
Kayak's fallen, but Chronicle's still alive. He's pulling all eyes towards this way. Lurk coming in at the same time from Alpha. This is getting messy. Monyet is down low on HP as well. And Alpha's taken this space. Yes, there's a player nearby, but now has to respect that smoke.
Ban Sogo.
To watch out when they go onto the site.
Great from Crazy Guy though. Nice re-clear here. Tries to swing off it. Good spacing, good trading. This is good
I'm-
from RRQ. 8 seconds now, and Fnatic have found no easy approach. It's Chronicle last alive, and the time has gone from them. RRQ holding on to this, Bayer.
Absolutely. Now back-to-back-to-back. Doesn't matter what you bring into the round, it's more what you do with it. And RRQ, a very good idea of how to play with those stingers. The damage that they can do.
Don't
Moni,
let
I
your
feel like in
Tarek
this
stop
round,
you from finding your
we saw him
JNAM.
right after the pistol in the eco, him getting a couple of kills. Him also
One
feeling himself.
enemy remains.
I think it's the
finding
other way
those first
around, no?
ones.
I mean, Monyet, for me, has been pivotal so far.
Oh, yeah.
He isn't sitting towards the very tip top of the board. That's Crazy Guy. He sat down, you know,
Yeah,
9
but
to
the
14.
difference is
But the value
Yeah.
is there.
Totally.
It's been exceptional for him.
Love the fact also we saw Crazy Guy using his ultimate. The round, you know, you can 100% win it. You should definitely invest in that.
And
This is a buy.
yeah, a pace change here and a punish.
Wow.
Chronicle going to catch Crazy Guy instantly, off the rip.
A lot of Odin in this game.
Yeah.
almost in every round, I must say.
I mean, and look at the buy that Fnatic have forged around it as well. This is, they've got what they could. Kayak's got a Vandal, you've got a Stinger and a Sheriff.
So here's the thing, now with the man advantage, having Kayak's ultimate and also Kurashi's to get that information onto the site, you trigger some of Kushi's utility. Are you going to try and go for the C execute again?
Why no Hypox? I'm not sure.
I quite like that actually from Kushi here. Wonder if it does pay dividends at this point though.
You're going to think maybe it's on B, they still haven't explored that part of the map.
You can see the Prowler going through that side. You can see maybe it's going to be Crashes testing for it. Yeah, doesn't hear it either. So I quite like this adjustment. It is testing the protocols. Because if Kayak does go in, he probably would be alone at this point. Now, it does have the ult if he did want to use that as almost the bulldozering factor, but as it stands, the correct read until this rotation comes out from Fnatic. If they leave this C side of the map, the rest looks very vulnerable there.
Wait,
almost
A
4
is
players
free.
from RRQ already ready on C.
Yeah, everyone they have is on that C side. They believed in it firmly, and it's wrong for now. It looks like it's going to be towards B. That's where the spike is. They've cleared through A. They've also seen nothing. This is getting curious. This should also be setting off some alarm bells about this retake potential.
The fuck?
coming in.
Where are the defenders?
Plants
No
now
joke,
down.
I'm pressing tab. Did they lag out?
And Monyet is walking carefully, slowly, cautiously. 2 players waiting to punish. All eyes turn towards the site now. The Flood waiting to come back in. Alpha a mile away, but still here comes the pressure. Jemkin clearing Kushi there. He needs to speed
Oh,
up.
the
He
flank.
might just make it back in time, but now we're in uncomfortable positions. The C's, the warp, the diffuse.
What a
gets
trade.
ripped away from it. Monyet wants
Flank.
to go back though. A 2v2 and Alpha completely
Wow.
unconsidered.
Wow,
Gets
well
away
played,
on the
well
lead for the
played.
night. Fnatic forcing it
Well
up to 12.
played.
I doubted the timing on it, but it worked out in the end.
And Fnatic were so slow yesterday. We know that they're so comfortable when the clock is running down, they still think time is on their favor. And for this round, at some point you might think it's a little bit overcooked. We saw Alpha so far, but taking such advantage of this advantageous 5v4 right at the beginning. Yes, the trades were coming in for RRQ. Are you really going to expect the Chronicle is pushing from behind with an Odin? You expect him to be playing from main and whatnot. Very good round, and now 7 rounds for Fnatic to close their mapping.
And already Monyet has fallen. Kayak, how have you found 2 so quick? Jemkin feels like a footnote in Kayak's story so
All right,
far.
I'm
It's not
chilling.
5. It
He
has
had to
been
show up.
one-sided.
Jemkin
I'm
had to show up in
dying.
this
Yep.
round.
Yeah, and he sadly hasn't.
Kayak has
No.
the nade again. Got everything for a Kayak round.
Waiting here though. Again, I like this tempo from Fnatic, pausing for a second. And
Good
RRQ
freezing. I think that they need this
Did
too. You know, you
RRQs
already
use
have
any
the
timeouts?
advantage.
They used both their timeouts
Wait
in the
and
first
see
half.
if there's a response for them. You have
So
all
yes.
the utility from Alpha behind you. You can rest assured.
Yep. Contact made. Sphera's got to be careful here. Doesn't take too much damage, but look at the util. Yeah, it's just such
Wow.
an easy punish for Fnatic when they tailor-make this sort of take. And Kushi
Nice
falls.
trade.
It's
GG.
just
They got
too
owned. Well played,
simple.
Fnatic. They played so well.
I've got to say it. Looking like they have a point to prove. Boaster up to his usual business, but the pacing, the tempo player, they came in looking mean today.
They've got all the moves, Lauren. Everything is ready for a lower bracket run. On the other side, we see an RRQ showing off those
Again, you're looking at him getting close to that ult. In my mind, it actually that was the first time I was a bit worried, right? Seeing Jemkin not look
30
quite as
seconds
well
left.
played in on,
Spike
maybe
planted.
suffering a little bit. Kushi was great, but it
There's-
wasn't the
there's
same
no
sort
point
of
of holding
effect
here.
that we'd seen them have before. Their ability to kind of play around with Jemkin, play him in a lot.
I guess
and
you could
again,
ooze,
it was
though.
one of those, I shouldn't be worried about this, right? I can go back to the whole
Right?
narrative building thing, right? I can
Yeah.
talk history. Right, okay. If you kill Alpha, oh, the crowd. Kushi, he takes a second glance.
Wait,
Oh my
scan
God, he's
both.
seen both of them. Stop it, Kushi,
my God.
relax. Woof. What a little-
I'm sorry
little
for coming
something
at you,
there.
Richie. I take it back.
You were saying.
I don't think Uin
yeah,
makes
so
sense.
this isn't the first time
I don't
we're
think
pushing
Uin
this
makes
map,
sense.
and again, it's actually looking pretty good here, though. Gotta say,
I think it's very important that you resemble and you speak about that match that we saw against
Here we
Wolves
go,
because
baby.
it was a
Here we go,
13-11.
baby. We got a pistol.
Yes, you got pistol. And it was very defined by those pistols. Wolves won both of them. So you're
What
in
the
that
hell?
scenario that advantage is
What was that
already
emote?
going onto the other team. After how devastating for Fnatic that Haven was, they need to start off strong. Just the same showing that we saw from RRQ on Haven.
And also, I do want to put a little bit of a caveat to me watching Jemkin. I want to see him back on really good entries as well, because he kind of fell off a little bit up against Wolves in that regard. Didn't see him having that same level of impact. If he can have this sort of like Haven resurgence, it's game on. For now, though, we're going to see Fnatic going through the motions here. Quick pressure up towards Cat through short, glancing down by Tree.
I think the stage is not that, like, I think it's warm.
Is playing over towards
'Cause I
this
see
side.
some of
so
the players,
a little bit of
like,
info already early towards Kayak's
You know, sweat a
position,
little
but
bit.
popped up
Also,
out
Bosa's
here.
got shorts
RRQ
on.
just leaving the
So maybe it's a
space.
little toasty.
Crazy guy looking, using that knife. I think he didn't catch anyone.
Take flight.
And he's going to go down. A is completely open for Fnatic to take the spike down. They're going to do it with no opposition. Again, 4 players from RRQ on the opposite side of the map. Easy entry onto site for Fnatic.
Yeah, this is good. Nice pathing so far. Kind of getting their scaling right as well. Just kind of getting some time on the server too. You talk about both these teams. They need a couple more reps, right? Feel out the tempo, get themselves situated. And for Alpha, it'd be nice to get that confidence up here too. Kayak looks like he's fine in that regard. Kron's having a lovely performance so far. Crashy's doing well. So mostly just eyes towards Alpha when it comes to that. But for RRQ, knowing position there and they don't want to allow any build of those.
Can I hold
orbs,
too?
Fnatic are going looking.
Yeah, I am holding.
Slowly but surely. Oh, they want the orbs.
Alpha, nice. Nice. And a third, not to be. But for him, that's great though. Again, you're building that all early. You're building confidence early. Kushi, again, bro.
That's better than a Marshall. Yeah.
Like, the round's done. It's very similar to the first, but he's still farming up. He's still, I mean, you talk about farming ults. Kushi was
Well
one as
done.
well. His ult before up against Wolves was one of the
Well
key factors
done.
that kept them in the game at times.
Another
really
successful
doing
hold.
incredible work. So for me, it put him
Oh my
really
God,
on
my
my
head is
radar. But
fucking.
gonna need to see this now in this sort of
I need
bonus
to take a
situation for
Red
Fnatic.
Bull or something. Tylenol.
Evened out. Fnatic, as you're saying, not having all the credits in the world, and RRQ still looking to make that break in the scoreboard. But still, is very early in the game to see. I think that they obviously, I'm going to say they did not predict Fnatic to come out with a composition like this one, right? So they have a time of grace for Fnatic to come up with some very set plays, something that RRQ is just not prepared for.
No.
Yeah, this is how well does RRQ learn on the fly too, right? This is going to be a big test here. Jemkin goes for a swing and he certainly misses.
Ooh,
Alpha
good
looking
CP.
clean with that, but Monyet is not stopping. This seems a bit too risky for me. He's not really got the get out of jail
Wow.
free. The plan was flawed from the
Too
start. It felt like
ambitious.
trying to make something happen over towards A main, but it's just fallen apart.
We just need a highlight reel of Stinger kills from this tournament, because some of them, massive impact in the round. 5v3 situation for Fnatic, getting closer and closer to securing this bonus. But still, they're being cautious. Chronicle looking up for mid. Everybody just gather up, waiting for RRQ to maybe go on the aggression again.
What's up, Inspire?
Still presence on this side, and this will confirm that they want to stick towards it. 3 players will be here. So Fnatic need someone to deal with this, and it is dealt with. Crazy Guy doesn't get cleared, but I think that they've got a good read on it. Doesn't get affected
They have
by
a
the
stack.
shutdown.
Still has util.
We're getting down to 30 seconds. This is where things can go wrong. It's when if crossfires aren't cleared, corners aren't checked, it can go terribly wrong, as Crazy Guy already does well.
20 seconds, they have to
where
commit.
are you going, Fnatic? You got to keep fighting forward. And Crazy Guy reads it. He reads Chronicle's position absolutely perfectly. The smoke keeping him alive. 13 seconds. We're running out of time here. Flash here buys a couple more seconds. And they
Wow,
are
what a
doing
crazy
it. They're
flash.
digging in their heels. Fnatic leaving it too
Time.
late in the day. 4 seconds. Xfero just needs to live here, surely.
No,
Buy his
there's-
time.
You forget.
He sticks the landing as Poster falls. And the timer
Wow.
then forcing them forward with a Red Bull clutch in the end for RRQ.
They had no business throwing that round for the side of Fnatic. Such a big amount of time.
What was the plan?
+2. Not thinking. Crazy guy being alive, just having that knife delayed them even more. This was such an issue yesterday. Again,
And you can see
Yo,
it's
they
not
both
good for
went
coaches.
directly
They
to
are
take
not
notes.
happy with
Holy
that. Again,
fuck.
that is
how
something
can you
that's
be?
That's
That's
so
a
funny.
5v3.
Yeah,
They
it
both
is, and that's
immediately
gonna
started
be
taking notes.
Noble through his hat.
Yeah, you're going to hear the ult though for Alpha. That is a big investment here and a very similar start. You're going to want to have Jemkin tucked in towards Wine. Paranoia is good, forcing the TP back. This time around,
Good ball.
RRQ plant the banner towards A main. How far do they search this though? That's my question. Alpha's still having a go. He's still on the line here. He's checking from that smoke. He's cleared it. So Fnatic now focus towards middle. Keep an eye on the spike though, deep towards spawn. They can't make any quick moves really.
We can secure that part of the map, and that is something that RRQ has learned to respect. Even from just this 3 rounds, with everything that is at stake and how close the previous round was. Jenkin is waiting.
I'm looking at the rotation of Monyet too, is where does he decide to go? That deep smoke towards middle I think is causing him enough worry at this point, but they are going back round towards A, so they are going to have their 3 players here. And holding the line is Jemkin. He's the one, Kayak, excuse me, just on the other side here, tries to play forward. Catches
Wow.
1, catches 2! Kayak kicking open the door! With a
Damn.
third!
That boy's cracked, man.
He's there when you need him!
That
When
boy is
Fnatic
cracked.
needs
Okay, I need to
something,
find
a
Talon. I'll be
spark.
right back, chat.
He ignites. Xferro and Cushy, I think we know their job now is to try and survive.
That play from Kayak, though, was everything. The TP, the fake, everything, all the flashes. He just got into Jemkin's head, and that is not an easy matter at all. 5v2, surely this one, it's secured. We already see the players from RRQ saving
Players. Most of the M people.
Now you've seen someone else, and he puts out this kind of plays, and you know that he earned that spot. Kushi's going to find crashes at the end of that round.
I'm getting worse.
And again, the interesting factor about Kayak for me is that when he first joined this roster, he wasn't the superstar instantly. There were rumors, there were whispers of his ability in Tier 2, how good he was at dominating that space, but he didn't hit the ground running perfectly. But the potential was there, and now it's absolutely actualized.
Jemkin walking out at the perfect time, just getting the free kill for him. What a play from the duelist.
Now.
RRQ, the money ain't good. The ultimates are getting there. Kushi already has his. And Alpha's just going to be investing into that Outlaw. Again, when the money's not good and when the shields are definitely not going to be heavy, it's a very, very good investment to make. Keeps you safe for the rest of the round, for the rest of the half, sorry. Building up that economy.
I like this little double stack though. It's not worked out, but I like it. Oh wait, this is a big old investment to throw in from Cushy there. That felt
Sorry, I'm
maybe a
distracted.
bit
So
too
I'm
desperate.
I'm
This
gonna ask
composition
Young
is a
Show.
pain in the ass because
It's
there's
slippery.
so many TPs
Yeah.
on the Yoru.
Oh, and
On
just
the
didn't-
chamber.
And again, for Jemkin, you could understand the temptation to want to play into it. Maybe them lingering around in middle just encouraged that. But again, just walks into it. He was meant to be maybe the ace up the sleeve, but it isn't at all. Let's see there from
Okay.
Crashies. Xferro gets to keep his life. And if they continue this pathing towards B, there's still 2 players here. They are only with classics, but there's a lot of damage done here. Oh my god. Xferro with a jump scare on Alpha,
Eco,
who
right?
stays alive.
Yeah.
3 kills for himself. But this site is not free, Vaya.
1
30
enemy
seconds.
remaining.
Nice clear on towards Crazy Guy.
30 seconds left.
And that is Diligence from Chronicle. Very good. Very, very good. Now, Cushy, you're not gonna do any more. That's fine. This was a
I
bit
do not
dangerous
vape,
from Fnatic,
bro.
but it worked out. And again, I get the temptation. Again, even from Cushy, pop the ult, maybe catch him on Cat. It's a bit closed in. But this composition is so slippery. Those TPs to get out of danger.
It's so annoying. Like, you think you have them, you think you can have a refrag, you think you can go on as 2 and maybe have an advantage, and it just disappears. Alpha Year snaps out of it. Kayak just embraces and gets out of it as well. Poster can get into almost any position with those TPs as well.
Yeah.
But those 2, especially those 2,
I'm feeling sick seeing him
with that
sick.
trade
What the
denial
fuck?
potential,
All right,
Jenkin
focus.
with the operator now, he has to make a difference.
Yeah, he's been a bit hot and cold in middle so far. It feels like he's just behind
Big
the wheel
round
so
for
much, just on
RRQ
the tempo
here.
and the timing.
Alpha has an op.
Layers between them here, but Alpha's been on 1-2. He has been having a good start. Yeah, some eco farming, sure, but 8-3 nevertheless. Trying to be played in by Crashies. And this should be Jemkin now ready himself. Yeah, gets out of danger. He's
Good
not
drone.
fancying sticking around here. almost tailor-made poison on the catch there towards Market. Jemkin's gone out for though, and they've still got control of B main. The initial plan is not going to be keeping coming this way. Surely they adjust.
Yeah, I liked what the utility we were seeing from Chronicle.
Hold on, I'm looking towards A, right? It doesn't even seem open either. You've got Monyet sat with a judge. Controlling this space still. Oh my god.
Timing.
Timing. He was within lethal. Screw it.
Oh
Stay
my
on the
god.
ghost, no sweat. Crazy Guy's still here, and this kind of adjustment of plan is difficult for Fnatic. Kayak gonna clear through Jemkin though, opens up a chance, and Crazy Guy feels
You guys are so fucked.
There's no safety on this site, right? Look where that spike is. They're up in... Oh my god, Sparrow. It depends where they go with this now. This could be everything or it could be nothing. That dart does not...
What a clear.
The crash is heads up.
What a clear.
They are taking the tour of Ascent.
They're going
and
B.
They're seemingly winning it, navigating past most of the danger. The TP is here. Monyet makes it in time, but he still just has that judge. He's got the ghost, he sees them. Paranoia in play, he's still trying to make this one work. 15 seconds, can he buy the precious time here? Kayak watching for it, waiting. Plant comes in. Monyet can't affect it yet. Waiting for support to come in, but Crazy Guy's a mile away, and they know it. By this point, even Kron's made it over here. He's up by Market. Oh, Crazy Guy! Lives up to the name, pops the ult, but it's Chronicle, ice cold in these situations. But there's a timer on what he can do. Gotta get going!
Big.
Chronicle, always so damn cold!
Chronicle's been nuts today.
Such a close round in the end though, with Crazy Guy getting those 2 kills, but the Red Bull clutch goes for Chronicle this time around. Little bit of the overcook, and as you were saying, the tour that Fnatic went on that round, just giving us a different version of themselves in each of these rounds. At the beginning of it,
Enemy remaining.
I was looking forward to what the Vice could do on that B side, but seeing Fnatic getting round after round here, 5-1, celebrating. Please don't break the coach room. Of course, it calls for a timeout on the RRQ side. Now, Lauren, I have a question for you.
Okay.
So RRQ have already played Ascent this tournament, right? Like we have seen them with the changes and whatnot into this patch. This is what they bring. Who do you think has the bigger advantage coming into this? Is it RRQ because they have already gotten that rep that, you know, with the first seed curse, not getting the reps onto stage, not getting a feel of how you're doing? Or Fnatic with a completely new composition that God knows how it's going to work and not having that official practice?
I mean, Fnatic gets more by them. Now, of course, they kind of could have fallen on its face potentially, right? Like maybe Al has a terrible start, but again, for RRQ, it becomes a question of their ability to learn on the fly. Can they
5-1 on attack
hit
Ascent.
round 7, they've gone for the timeout, that's fine, that's fair. But
One dude who speaks for the watch party should have been emailed. The Sentinel's watch party should be emailed.
Step up for that if they get the round running, it's hard to adapt now.
This round for RRQ would mean a lot. As
Guys, by the way,
Pansy
is not casting with her usual partner because he was filling in because Hypok's not here. So she doesn't normally cast, so she's slotting in.
That's a good spot.
So I would just say...
We've seen similar scenes, right? But you can see the Fnatic,
nice.
we talk about learning on the fly, they certainly are, but Monyet picks the right target, plucks away Alpha and backs away. Crazy Guy now gets contact, they've read a lot of this. They've got an idea of where 3 players are out of the 4 that still stand for Fnatic.
And blocking the eye side, of course, we see Kayak ready to get on that TP. He also has
My
his ultimate, but... Oh. He
I think
decides
it's
to go
fine
for it,
too.
gathering all the information onto A.
I mean, it's a bold play. Fnatic still have to walk into a pretty stacked site here. Change out of Paranoia as Monyet waits. Tucked behind Dice. Kayak can't really challenge the back of the site here. They might get stuck in towards main. Not again, surely. Kayak just pries open the site. Apparently that's all they need. Kayak just strolling in. Is
They're
enough to get them over the
stomped.
potential hurdle. Sparrow just a second behind. As now, this is a pretty much done round.
Pretty much done. Still, Fnatic, they work for those orbs. Crashes, gets one closer to his ultimate. And speaking about ultimates, with this plant, Chronicle gets his.
Gap.
Kayak wants it.
Oh, that's brutal. Fnatic, though, another step in the right direction, and they needed this after map 2. It was a blowout, pretty much. Embarrassed in map 2 by RRQ. The way those rounds went down in that second half should be haunting them. This is exactly what the doctor would have ordered, though. A quick, decisive reaction. A lot in the hands of Kayak and Alpha, and both of them doing exactly as they need to.
And RRQ need to make a decision. We saw that timeout, yes, the previous round. The economy wasn't the best, but maybe some aggression, maybe just setting up
all right,
some
6-1.
of the plays.
RRQ, wake up.
Something else beside that bonus.
Or
that
not,
it wasn't
honestly.
theirs
I'm
to
down for a
take
13-1. Fuck
even.
it.
3v5. We need to find that
Fnatic
kind
has been
of
fun to
energy.
watch. I would like to keep them in
Monty's
the
been
event.
Deadly. Not only in the previous map, but also here. Definitely being a nuisance.
And I like this. I like the way they're using the Vice to kind of scale up on the map. Again, kind of using the Vines to go down the Thorns over towards short, kind of then using that as a way to take space safely off the back too. It's really nice layering for this mid control that they've been trying to, I guess, work through for most of the opening exchanges in this map. So far so good. First time we've seen Fnatic start with a little bit more pressure towards that B main, but it doesn't look like they're particularly sticking around here. This high attention to detail over towards Cat once again re-emerging.
Taking their time.
Who played before this?
We know that Fnatic are definitely good at doing that. Feel comfortable.
I need to see some discipline from
Oh yeah, XLG
Jemkin
versus
too, 'cause there's obviously that want to play into it and be pivotal and be
I'm not
aggressive in a
gonna
way,
lie, all
but
the maps today have
he
been
has been
stomps,
caught on a couple
right?
of timings by Alpha in middle. I want to see
Was
him
there a
find
close
way
map
to
on
deal with that
XLG?
tempo now.
Speaking about tempo, Kayak is ready to walk. He's going to be spotted.
This isn't over, yeah. This one could
coming in
spice
from
up.
RRQ. And again, they might find each other at CT.
Boaster
20
still has
seconds.
his TP, and this is now running really late. Okay, this will help things, but I think Monyet might have been out
Wow,
of it, but
what
Kaya's
a
gonna catch the
fucking kill,
rotate.
dog.
Jemkin goes down again, 10 seconds, please don't make him.
10 seconds left.
This could be unthinkable if he denies the plant on this one. Oh my god, Monyet! That might have been everything!
Yes, time.
Look at the
No
time
time
now.
now.
It's too late! I'm pretty sure this is way too
You
late,
got a blind kill, yeah.
Makes a
Wow, Monyet won them the
monstrous
rounds.
play
Well,
there.
his teammates as well.
Weapon here.
Damn. I mean, that could
I
be a
just
start.
cannot believe it keeps happening.
House always
At some point, you might think, no, it's not going to happen this time around. They know how to play with the time. They're going to leave for at least a couple of options. But with so many players alive, you not having the information of what is on site, what is on main, just leaving this onto the last second when you've worked towards the map, when you've worked that information layer by layer, corner by corner.
Good thought.
Yeah, good hold.
Good hold.
Exactly.
But again, though, these are the cracks that will be there in this attack from Fnatic. It won't be perfectly smooth yet. They won't be in that complete
And that was nice
consideration.
by Fnatic.
I think
They
some of
just
the
got
issues of this
fucked by
round
wine.
started before that point, how late it was. If RRQ leave them a little bit of space, sit a little bit deeper, make them work for their dinner, how do they navigate this? Now, normally it's been Kayak kicking down A and just getting 2, but if they are made to slow play through this map, how does that fare? Really need
I'll
to
have
see
to ask that strategy.
Jemkin playing this perfectly. Though,
Maybe
because
give it
again,
till tomorrow,
he
guys.
might be the one in that crosshair instantly.
Give it till tomorrow. If we don't hear something,
pushing.
I'll check.
With that operator, but RRQ, they're not giving a single inch. They know what they're facing, and they know what's worked for them.
And I like this, sitting a bit deeper, as I said, I think is a good reaction. Fnatic do like this late control towards tree, they've been playing it, and I also like this push out towards B main. This hasn't been an area they've been contesting often, this gives them good information. This is solid, this is a nice approach, 45
This is
seconds, and
elimination,
none of
yeah.
that contested space has been taken by Fnatic yet, barring maybe Cat and now Tree. They can't late play back into
Time.
because they're going to be so behind the curve on the information. And that's what, I mean, that's divine from Jemkin. The spike is pivoting.
Double B man.
Now it's going to be a crunch. Chronicle's good at
30
this, but if they keep their eyes on the prize here, they and again Xpero does
Chronicle
do well
is
towards
so
Kayak,
fucking
but late in
good.
the day they've made the run work here.
He cleared
Chronicle
that
saving
shit.
them from what could have been a disaster. It felt like RRQ started to get the read on sitting deep, making them explore further, but Fnatic saved by Chronicle's diligence, but it's still a 3v3. It's not impossible, just a little improbable
Ult,
when you
Silva?
look at who's here. Chronicle's control is legendary. Swings off the pop of the ult, but that's a player without a gun in their hands. They can try and gap close, and they are. You can see it
Wow,
putting it away, but
nice.
Boaster with a shot through the smoke. Catching Jemkin. Monyet looks for a target, dives in on sight. Can't quite control on the first try.
Nice,
Can't get the
Boaster. Good
spray.
shit.
Crazy guy now needs a 1v3 as Fnatic holding all
Wow.
the cards.
Great
Chronicle,
rounds, great rounds.
That was a brilliant round from him.
You're speaking about
Great
diligence,
round.
and Chronicle has been
That was a
all
4v5
that
as well.
this entire match. The condition and also that he's been making in this map.
30 seconds left.
Constant pain here on me.
I mean, if he didn't do that, I think the round would be done.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Coming back to these sort of late
Ooh.
rotations, if you aren't clearing this space as well as he does, you're done.
With two of the players, like the movement from RRQ was good.
Yes.
Two of the players just waiting for this to happen. We also saw the utility from Cypher on site. They were ready, they were prepared, and then Chronicle happens.
And now they might fall into the trap of got to get proactive with these ults, play, you know, in towards this fight on Cat. The temptation, obviously, so sweet, but again, for Fnatic, they've been really good at clearing this. And you can see Kayak is so locked in. Oh my god, he snapped back so quick. And again, this was kind of off the back of that want of maybe playing in Jemkin a little bit, taking some of that space, but Xfero's the one to do well here. Taking away Chronicle is huge.
Absolutely. They've been putting up a lot of utility to those drones that we were speaking of. Not only he gets the kill, he also
Wait,
gets
what
to use
happened?
his
Fuck,
ultimate.
I didn't see it.
Oh, I like
I
this
thought
as
someone
well, though.
pulled
You
on my
take space
chair.
one side, but in the meantime, they push so much deeper towards A main. They don't need to go further than this. With him being here, you get so much information. And again, it was a mistake that was made before that Monyet managed to punish in that wild round with that timing. So they can cheat the rotations over towards B. They can get these players here way earlier because of that pushed out position. This is now going to be one of those later rounds. Now, can Fnatic somehow find this information themselves? I don't think so. So in reality, they have the players in the right place here. Last time, Kron was the one who was god tier at playing from this, but it looks like a focus towards top middle. RRQ doubting themselves, it felt like, wanting to check, wanting to make sure, but they were right in the read. But the timing now wrong as Fnatic get the red carpet rolled out.
Eco
towards
for
B as the
RRQ
pawn
here.
next in the steps to be taken. Cushy trying to thread a needle that I don't think is potentially there. Takes away one. That is a Vandal picked up. Good util still left here as well, but Crazy Guy just about making it over here. And Crashy's making him do the dance, right? Putting him through the paces. We're going to need like a shot in the dark, right? We're going to need something. What do you have here? Cushy taking the first step. Nice off the flash, but he couldn't quite land it. Poster in the back lines, doing what is necessary.
Poster's
That
getting
makes it sound
active.
like I was
Chat,
saying the
my
dance
stomach
was
is
necessary.
running.
That, less
I'll be
so.
right back.
But 8-2, Bayer, they're in control.
8-2 and looking very dominant. Yes, those
30
two rounds that
seconds
they lost, big mistakes, very big mistakes. Good to see them back in the board. And RRQ in this round made the worst decision that they could make. And it's giving Fnatic what they want. They're waiting for such a long time for you to make a mistake, for you to take the step.
When was the time, do you think, of Poster?
The prime of Poster.
Honestly, I think
What he had on Haven. And I feel like we've seen this round 3,000 times.
hey, if it's working,
I'm
well,
already tired of
changing
this
it.
comp. Nah.
But aggression down middle, it's not looked good, actually. Again, I think that Jemkin's been very, very willing to go for it, but it's just not worked for him at all. Alpha's generally been having his number in this. It's not looked easy for him by any means.
This time they go for the litter aggression onto me, trying to force something complemented with the utility. And the one shot that he hits is on Kayak's bone. So not looking the best there.
And he does have a little bit of utility to play with, I guess. Invested kindly by Xfero, but now he's on the chopping block. Like, what do we do? Okay, well, okay, you just headshot Kayak, I guess, is what we do. But it's a one and done. There's no furthering that. And now the map's split in half. Two on either side. Where does Fnatic decide to go? They've won the mid-fight completely. That's the spike going through
30
market, though.
seconds
That's
left.
Again?
really, really isolated.
Yeah.
Okay, the rest are coming up here, but I was a bit worried he was on his own. Now, no one was there to punish him. We're seeing how deep RRQ are sitting. Fury, gonna find a man. Ooh, and the follow-up to Alpha goes down. Okay. Now, do they scarper? It's messy from Boaster there. Couldn't get back in time again. Feel like a broken record, but running out of time and running out of options. Fnatic luckily have 8 rounds, so it's not been that much of a big deal. But this is how they've been losing them. 2 seconds, they're just gonna let it fizzle out. It's not the most explosive way to get to 3, but RRQ will take it.
Absolutely. I think that timeout, maybe for the side of Fnatic, is
Last
guys, you're
round
doing
in the
well.
half.
Keep it going. For the side of RRQ, take the right timing. Learn when to push. Let's put a little bit of pressure onto them and see how they respond to that. Super important, this ultimate from Pushy and this kill on Monyet. Again, the numbers from yesterday, an average of 1 minute and 9 seconds to get the spike down for Fnatic. That is outrageous and obviously the highest in playoffs.
Oh, it's got 5 years in the cake.
First,
I didn't
happy
see that.
5 years, everybody.
Yeah, congrats. Now, what do we see here? I'd like to see Fnatic almost kind of playing with a gear shift, which actually looks like they are now, because again, you've almost lulled RRQ into a sense of safety that is not here. Kushi trying to find him, but it's actually xFaero who's caught Boaster. And Fnatic have really held up towards B main. They have managed to burst through, banking on Kayak's ability to do something with this. Commits towards Boathouse, crashes now and comes out, but there's 3 players on site. This is
I'm not sure about this, Lauren.
Fnatic could be caught up in the blender here, but they still need to land the shots if you're RRQ. Easy, this is so tense. I like the idea of the gear shift, but something slowed them down towards main that just stopped them actually committing.
4v4 on site.
God, please be disciplined, RRQ. You don't need to do too much. We said it before when they made that play towards top middle. They got almost, they got into their own heads about it. They're once again right about this. They don't need to change. They hold these positions, hold this line. They make it hard for Fnatic, but here we go. Alpha unleashing Fury, but this site is still not clear. You've got 30 seconds and 2 more to find. Kushi, are you the hero to step up for RRQ, or a Fnatic just past that hurdle? Is perfect. Takes one, doesn't expect the follow-up though. Alpha was the one getting those kills on Cap before. He loses his head for a second. And with 14 seconds, the plant is in. That doesn't make things easier. Chronicle is, oh my God, he's so low on HP too. 3 HP is all that's there. Alpha, back of the boathouse, sends Crazy Guy back into basically the second half. 3-9 Bayer. Fnatic look good in this form. They've given themselves a buffer. It wasn't perfect, but it's better than nothing.
But when you think about those mistakes, those rounds that they lost, they could have perfectly won. They need to get back on the drawing board. This composition is giving us so much, and I cannot wait for what we're going to see on the defense.
Yes, some missed timings, but a lot of those timings and 3 between the two of them. RRQ bringing out all the big guns in map 2, but map 3 could be all over in a blink of an eye. They need this pistol.
Okay, here we go. Wine, the dagger wine, yeah.
Instant aggression, gathering a few orb.
Orb and
Nothing on the
main,
other
2
side
outside
from
B.
Fnatic.
They get A main control, go back B, execute.
Away. And Kayak takes an advanced position on B main.
Yeah, I like it. Again, you can get out of jail free.
It's been a quite one-sided day, yeah.
See the consideration of a mid-walk, not happened yet. Double stack up towards market. Kayak, the early warning system, and a lethal one of that does.
Oh my God.
Get out of there. xFaero now will control that corner, but it's only seeing a Cypher doesn't give you everything you want. But now not alone, walks back in with Kron, but he falls. Body blocked almost. Kron though tries to play it forward. Didn't want to back away, and now they speed up on the execute. Bang!
Good
shot
damage.
from Boaster there, catching just the corner of Monyet and quickly threads ahead. Now you've got a fast rotate coming in from Crazy Guy, who's all the way over towards that A side of the map. So late positioning towards main, but Boaster's ahead of it. Paranoia still in play. Smoke still there.
Yeah, the kill. Oh, nice try.
No synergy on that? I don't know if I loved what I saw then from him.
I think Boaster tried taking his timing.
Space and play back in together, but now down to the 2. Alpha and Crashies. Still got util. As said, this is pretty big for them. But that late positioning towards main is rough. It's keeping Alpha's eyes towards it. Timing, the factor. Got to get a move on. Got to get going. And they're playing the game. This could be doing the dance with them, right? Going to make them work for it. Crashies, damage!
Time.
But 2 more to go, and Crazy Guy's position is the checkmate. Monyet just needs to live, and he does.
All right, 9-4.
It's a pistol for RRQ. And a little bit of a weird choice from Boaster there.
And it's so good that they were patient in that round. We got the orb, we just still follow the plan. We're lucky enough to get this first pick onto Kayak, who had already taken a bit of damage. We secure it with the 1 for 2, and we go on to plant the spike. Boaster, I think in that situation was just...
That's our pistol,
It's kind of a dilemma, right? You don't have the information
Does
of where
Rex
the rest of the
believe?
players
Does
are.
RRQ believe in themselves?
You need to move. You do not have really the time to wait for the rest of your teammates. No ideal scenarios, but for RRQ, only 5 rounds separate them now for Fnatic.
Or is it fake news?
And this should be the 5th one for them.
xFaero's been a pretty safe pair of hands in my mind as well. He's been rather good in these sort of positions. So let's see how he plays.
Who is the winner of this play?
Wait.
Leaving Alpha as the
This is G2?
Pretty much the bastion of hope on
No.
the A site, right?
They play the
one
loser
man
of the next
turret
round?
over there, but it's patient again from RRQ. Maybe trying to get the
Oh,
lay
they
of the
play
land
loser of
themselves as they're
Genji
in
Wolf, I
mid-court, 'cause
see.
they're a stack. They need
Winner
to use
plays
util
loser of
to
Genji
clear
Wolf.
this at some point. Maybe waiting for that util to cycle back up.
With the
Oh, God.
composition that they're playing up
Nope,
against,
that's
taking
wrong
this
as
time
well.
and also Fnatic
Winner
has
of this
been
plays loser of
fairly
Sen
aggressive
PRX Sen.
in the rounds
Sen
that they've had
PRX
no
Sen?
economy.
There, I'm scared.
They're walking towards it.
Yeah,
The
but
fuck did I just
hopefully they
say?
use some of that lovely utility they've got loads of, right? I'm still a bit nervous here. Yeah, okay, I think they felt the danger in that, even just the cam being cleared as it was. And here comes, let's see if that control is in play. No, Crashy's quick on his feet, as Alpha does need to back away. Expected reposition, Jemkin, eyes already trained
Wait, I just
towards it,
predicted how
plants
the
in play.
series will
It's
go
dangerous,
tomorrow.
but
Sen
they find
PRX
stability.
Sen.
Now they need to keep Cushy and Jemkin living
It was a
in this,
fucking
so those two
subliminal
battles
message
are
that came out of my
precious.
mouth without me even thinking
Cargo.
it.
Cushy layering in the util, keeping him chipped down as best he could. But Crashes with that Bulldog is the dangerous factor. They are all eyeing up coming through from here. Knife fantastically timed. Catching at least
Hold.
3 of them, denying this springboard in. Paranoia goes,
Never
Cushy
mind.
now out of the situation. Alpha finds Crazy Guy. Jemkin goes down,
player
suddenly
standing.
crashes in a 1v2. Again, difficult, but desperately tried. Monyet, once again, the final man standing. And suddenly that scoreboard doesn't look so impossible.
Both Vandals just moving on to the next round. RQ, as you're saying, 5 on the board. This looks perfectly doable. We've seen them having very strong starts, converting the bonus. Will almost make this a very, very even affair. Again, we still have to see how this composition from Fnatic really works on the defense. And I think we're going to get a very fair showing now. How
All right.
Alpha's going to be positioned, how they use
Here's the
having
start,
that
bonus.
and the Euro as well.
Let's see it.
We can see now as all the utility from Chronicle on his first Vice over onto A.
Yeah, big
Am I gonna get
switch
some
up in
rest?
that.
I want to get some rest
See, up
after
to
this,
point for
but
the Pistols, they did have
there's
Alpha
something I have to do
soloing
off
out
stream. I'm
towards
just
that
trying
A
to
side as
move
much as
it.
they could. Put a lot of faith in towards him here. And the walk back comes in towards B. So trying to steady themselves here. Kayak has been solid.
Oh.
That's a player spotted here. And he's sticking around on this. I'm a bit worried he stays
Kayak
so
is
close
like
here.
chatting up.
Oh, thankfully that
Good
wall now
shot.
reinforced. A little less of an issue.
Nice
That's
shot.
3 people spotted. That's what we see. All
The
that utility
ultimate's
coming
ready.
down. X-Pharaoh actually gathering that orb for the
He's a
Euro
brave
thing?
boy.
Okay. Just in
Alpha-
case someone else gets the kill.
Ooh, did they spot? I don't know if they spotted Alpha. They kind of looked down, but I don't think they did. Lazy clear. Oh my! What is that? You do not see that every day. A mess made by Alpha,
I know
being gifted
exactly
the
what-
chance of the gods from that, and now that all
Nah.
comes into play. That is
I've never
perfect,
seen
and
that from
look
Alpha.
instantly at where they're
That was
heading.
something.
It's Kayak and Crashies though, big boys
30
on the
seconds
server
left.
here. Big players. 25 seconds getting late in the day. They decide to slip towards the site. Waiting for the util to come, but it ain't even here. They're just powering on in. Crashies finds some safety in the smoke. And I say that very tentatively. Chronicle gonna catch the heels of X-Pharaoh. It's game
Wow.
on. Fnatic, they thrive apparently.
Chronicle
but
got
time so
2 as
late.
well.
Seconds
Monyet can't find this
What a
many players
hold.
in this
What a
little
hold.
time. Fnatic, it got dangerous.
Insane.
But Alpha just stood up.
Oh no.
Oh
He stood up.
god, the alpha curse.
Okay.
Where's the glue gone? Someone
Ooh.
find the glue.
Irrelevant.
Stick him to that chair. It's dangerous because this round as well, I liked what they did. Alpha. Oh.
He's
There it
celebrating
is.
for
He kissed
the
his
rest
hands.
of them. It's not for him.
He kissed his
Okay,
hands.
okay, that's okay.
Nice Gron!
I
Nice
love-
Gron.
He literally kissed his
Nice
hands.
anchoring, Kayak. You're doing a brilliant job over in B.
They lose
Doesn't
this
matter.
round.
Was the bonus for RQ. There's
Yeah.
still plenty of chances. 3 to be exact. Well,
And
3
again,
rounds
they're
for
still
Fnatic.
having to learn to face this. Not right. Oh my god, what? Kayak just
Jenkins
drifted
finding the
out.
opener again.
Yeah, Jemkin's starting to get these entries going, and that shot wasn't clean enough to truly punish Cushy, so he keeps his life. But Alpha's temptation is still here. He's trying to be proactive. Oh, the timing. Oh my god, you are lucky to be breathing, Crazy Guy. Spray off with Vandals always seems like a terrible idea, but it's fine. So far, they bully their way up Cat. Looking towards the safe side, but Chronicle has been the safest player. Always so deadly in these situations. Let's see how well he does in this new role here. Chronicle's gone down, but
Spike
Alpha
down A.
stomps into the site. 3,
Ooh.
back-to-back damage. Now down to 2, 45 seconds, much more time, but the final boss of Alpha seems to be standing.
Time for Lurk, time for
In the
Lurk.
net, but it seems to be considered. Already pinged out. Boaster eyeing this up, but timing is everything. And he's got it. Xpero falls, leaving just one man
30
alive in
seconds
Alpha's
left.
corner. Has not been cleared this time. Gets away with it with 4 kills.
Big.
And apparently, the curse is broken.
The curse is broken, it doesn't matter, but he's not standing up this time around. It doesn't
4K
matter
Alpha.
that he got the 4K. You know, you don't play with lag like that. Not a second time around. Struggled to find the first one, it doesn't matter. He
Yo, they're
closes
blind for
up
so
with
long,
4.
wow.
But it couldn't have been possible without the paranoia, the flash from Vice, putting all of that pressure on a team that's trying to execute on you. 11
What did Alpha
for
just do right
Fnatic,
there?
2 away from continuing a lower bracket run. RRQ now, as you can see on your screens, the economy is not the best. Jemkin 1 away from his ultimate, working with the shorty,
Oh, he almost whiffed on the last kill.
trying to get that orb, or at least they're going to try and fight for it.
Oh, paranoia.
It's no follow-up though.
Yeah, kind of scarpering, but timing-wise, Fnatic coming into their own in moments like this is dreamy for them. After a brutal map 2, their creativity being rewarded here as that 12th round looking ever so likely. Alpha strikes, 20 kills for him after what was genuinely a very hard map 2 and not a particularly brilliant map 1. He has found his form when he needed it, when Fnatic needed it. Hallmark of a good player. Shot goes astray that time. But RRQ looking for ways forward, and there aren't too many. Again, gotta say it, Chronicle in this role. Lovely to see, but Jemkin tries to close in. Oh, it was late.
Oh my
Who's
God.
got the job done? Caught on the cross though, Alpha.
Oh!
Oh! The man. Yep, time. Oh, it was late.
Oh my.
But RRQ looking for ways forward, and there aren't too many. Again, gotta say it, Chronicle in this role. Lovely to see, but Jemkin tries to close in. Oh, it was late.
Oh my
Who's
God.
got the job done? Caught on the cross though, Alpha.
Oh!
Oh! The man we were just talking about.
No!
The beast himself.
No!
The is back.
And he's
That
standing up
was
to
fucking
celebrate. This is
sick.
100% deserved. What a crazy run from him. I need to see that shot again. I need to see that
That's
shot
Turkish aim, bro.
again.
That's fucking Turkish aim, man.
I know
Enemy
Kunkun's
remaining.
not here, but it's nice to see shots
Isn't
out
it
of the sky
solid,
like
bro?
that. I'll take that every day of the week.
That's fucking nasty, man.
Now, is it over? Was RRQ's hopes and chances
Match point,
dashed
elimination-
by this brand
elimination
new
point.
composition that looks so
Wait, he
good?
actually got mad
It
after
looks
he whiffed, and he
creative.
got back-to-back
It looks
4Ks.
like it's on the money, and it's given Alpha that real resurgence here.
Absolutely. Sphera forced out. One of his cages gone.
Here.
7 in a row needed for RRQ, and Alpha's waiting on the other side.
Oh, he's the right side.
3 players, 3 bodies to try and drop. So far, they make it past the first hurdle. But he's not
Big.
missing now! Alpha stepping up to a new level here. Crazy guy, Cushy, Xfero, that's all that they've got to bank on. And
3v5.
Cushy's a mile away. Position noted. He's got the spike too. If he goes down, that could be just done for. But no,
Oh my
they don't swing
God.
into it. They play this cautiously.
What a game by
They play it
Fnatic.
right.
Taking their time. Slowly but surely.
Flash needs to be perfect.
Double market.
It ain't gonna do the job. They're waiting. And
Nope.
Kayak there. It's been a
Mid.
1-2
GG.
punch the whole time. It's either Kayak or Alpha. And Xfero has to face the music.
player
It
standing.
is done. Fortune favoring the bold. Fnatic bringing out a brand new look, securing their safety and survival in the lower bracket.
Is not
So
been
dominant,
an easy
huh?
road for them. And the
Both,
road ahead
on the
does
wins?
not get any easier. But they can be happy of getting the win today. Worked hard for it. And on the other side, we see an RRQ that had no response to all of this shenanigans. That map 2 is what I'm thinking of when I think of RRQ. The showing on Haven, what they can do with that double duelist, Moniet, and Jemkin.
NT's RRQ,
What a show
but they
in front
kind of
of
dropped the
Fnatic.
ball. Number
Yeah,
1
and
seed
while
curse,
we wait for this one,
or
obviously,
I don't know,
all good sportsmanship
because they
here.
were number 1 from APAC.
Oh,
So
bless. but for RRQ, you can
And
see
they
the
had their full
potential,
team
but
here.
finding it consistently in stages like this is the next layer up for them. First time stepping out to a stage of this caliber, they still did do well. We saw the moments there on Haven. They just could not find it in the
I would
others.
love to.
Here's the thing, they were playing yesterday. Both of these teams played and lost yesterday. Fnatic even had that very long pause.
Yep.
So they got home very, very late. This is not something that was cooked from one day to the other.
And for them, a massive relief to make it through that, shaking off
Well
the
played.
chance of that Shanghai nightmare reoccurring. And you can see them taking themselves down the stage there towards the fans. And in a moment's time, we'll pass it over to Jen Lee, who will be standing by for the Verizon post-match interview, I believe even joined by Boaster.
Title from Cryo. He's only the only team.
Right, this could be where the fun. Because
We
this
can take it off
puzzle
some.